What's up, Juju Gang? How's it going? How is it going? I see a lot of familiar faces in the chat. How's it going, everyone? Chadwick, Alex, Everest, Andy, Marco, Ben, Vern. Let me know where you guys are tuning in from. I'm gonna pull up my Webull here. 819 on Tesla. Man, it honestly just feels like Tesla is picking up steam as of old. Like it's nuts. Um, Let me know if my audio is coming in clear too. By the way, probably should ask that first. How's it going, Paco? Vern, how's it going? Yes. Yeah, 820. 820 is the goal for the stream. Okay, there we go. I know audio is coming in clear now. Awesome. Norway, New Zealand, Atlanta, Bailey, how's it going? Audio's good. Thank you, Vern. Guadalajara, Mexico. The Booster, welcome. See you on Twitter. That's awesome. You got the Elon badge right beside you, too. Love to see it. Love to see it. Mexico, I'm pretty jealous of that. I got the Juju, a little bit different. We had to go, the shop ran out of those mandarins and peelable type stuff. So I had to go with one of these. In fact, this may be from Mexico. No, this is from Australia. This is it says two meat. That's my ethnic pronunciation coming out. Citrus from Australia. Probably just two-mit. But there we go. South Carolina, California. Just watch some Gordon with Tom Nash. I watched part of that video as well. Atlanta, Raleigh. There we go. Las Vegas. Sanju, how's it going? M. Kelsey, thank you. Boise, Idaho. Digital, David with the Juju beside him. Digital with the Elon. There we go. Okay, Belfast. Wow. People from everywhere tuning in. So 818 on Tesla stock. Yash, why are you going live again? Tesla, you've gone live 5 times this week. I know what you're thinking. I know, I get it. I've been live a lot this week. I feel like I've pumped out a lot of content this week. I feel good about it. Got the new studio, so I just feel like I got to use it. Right? That's kind of my rationale. But thanks for joining. All of a couple hundred of you guys here joining. I'm sure we're gonna get more as the stream goes on. If you can hit like, much appreciated. If you like Tesla stock, you probably want to stick around. We got 62 likes as of me looking at this right now. Let's try to bump this up to a couple hundred, shall we? Okay, so 817.19 on Tesla. Remember, volume weighted average price for the day is 817.25. Okay, so VWAP is sitting there. If it's a repeat of what happened the other day, we could see a fade off into close. If we see volume kick up for the day, and remember, volume is pretty light on the day last time I checked. Yeah, volume is just a little bit short of 10 million shares. We have 55 minutes here until close. Well, it's power hour. And 820 was a kind of a hard stop for the day. So kind of a short recap of the day is, this is the 5-minute today. Short recap of the day is, morning was choppy for the first hour, and then a steady climb up into Subway lunch hour for the Wall Street toots. At 820, we hit a kind of a hard stop. 820.25 was the high of day. And now we are retracing back to our EMAs on the downside. All in all, I'm happy. Wow, we got some big retracement here to, looks like, to the volume weighted average price. But remember, let's have some perspective, right? Let me pull up the daily chart. This is our daily chart, folks. Like, we've been, flirting in that 770 zone for a long time. The other day when I went live on Emmett's stream, we were sitting, I think we just broke into 800 for the first time. And so having some perspective, even if we finish at $15 on the $15 over 800, remember, pre-split, that's a $60 move in a couple of days, right? Pre-split. And I always go back to pre-split. I don't know why, but I just feel like pre-split gives me more context and allows me to appreciate some of the moves that we see a little bit more. I'm not sure what you guys feel about that. Except from Chicago. Welcome. Ben says, keep doing lives. Get that sweet YouTube money. Yeah. If only they actually paid very well. Let's just leave it at that. But I do appreciate all the support nonetheless. Remember, I do this because I think this is fun. This is fun for me. This is fun for you guys. This is why I'm here. Red is such an ugly color. Okay, so let me pull up the 1 minute again. Sorry about that. Options pricing premium. Let's take a look on that as I pull up my EV watch list on the side here. Someone's saying Lucid's up. Yeah, Lucid's up 6% on the news that they might have an autopilot feature coming out soon enough once they deliver their vehicles. No comment. So we'll see. And we went over that the other day. Okay, so options premium for tomorrow is again looking very suspicious, right? Not in a good way. If we go, okay, so we're sitting at let's say 820 for all intents and purposes right now. If we go out, let's say, if we go at $10 out the money, that's an 830 strike call. It's $1.30. If we go $10 down, on the put side, that's an 810 strike. Those are selling for $3. Okay, so 3 versus $1.30. So we got some discrepancy. It's even more pronounced. Just look at the put option chain out the money, right? You'll see premium $4, $3, $2.50, $2, $1.50, $1.25. Like you can still get premium at a 760 strike for tomorrow. A 760 strike, and this is kind of nuts, right? Like if I sold or if I bought a put for 740 expiring tomorrow, I'd still be able to make $100 per contract versus, and that's what, almost 80 points out the money, right? 80 points out the money. If I went 80 points out on the call side to the 900 strike for tomorrow, it's 5 cents. I get $5, right? It's nuts. Doesn't make any sense. So I say that to highlight that call premium is again totally wasted for tomorrow. Is that a tell? Recently it's been like a market maker tell that, hey, if there's no premium on the call side, Tesla's going to have a hard time to continue to rally up. It's even more pronounced for tomorrow. By the way, if you haven't heard already, it made an announcement on Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter if you want at Hey It's Yashu. Made an announcement saying tomorrow I have the awesome Bradford Ferguson on the channel. Bradford is a financial advisor. He has his own firm. We can talk about that. But he's a former options market maker who traded on the floor, used to train people. And so our episode tomorrow for Power Hour, though I'll be live on the same time, 12 p.m. Pacific, it'll be with him. He can share his screen. We're going to go through myths for options trading, max pain. Do the market makers take the opposite side of your trade? Do they put out FUD to let's say, they put out a FUD piece just so they can sell a lot more puts? Like all those little things. And I've gotten a list of questions here that I got to send to him actually about that. So that's going to be really interesting. You won't want to miss that. Let's see here. Long Island, welcome. Hey Tyler, how's it going? Okay. Jupiter says doing it for the love. Absolutely. Doing it because let's be real. This is a lot more fun than working. Let's see here. But yeah, so here's the problem, right? Like looking at the put premium on the money. Yes, it's and you know what? Here's something better. Let's go to next week's option chain. Next week has earnings baked in. So next Wednesday, if you don't know, Tesla is reporting their Q3 earnings. I'll be live on this channel. Hit subscribe if you haven't already, and you got to hit the bell actually to get notified of that. But next Wednesday after hours, we'll do Power Hour, and then we'll go right into earnings call. But this options chain includes whatever effect that earnings call is going to have. And analyzing this options chain might give us more intel as to what the market makers think might happen. First of all, the first thing to do is to take an at the money call and at the money put, add them together. They're about $25 each. Call it $50. $50, give or take, plus or minus, is the move baked in for next week's option chain, right? So $50 on the upside gets us to 867. $50 on the downside gets us to 765. Okay. They're around there, right? Rounding a little bit. So 765, 867, or 865. Obviously, it's $100 spread there, right? $50 up, $50 down. And I think that's a pretty safe bet. But more importantly to look at is, okay, let's go and let's look at the delta column, right? On the call side. Let's go out to the 1 standard deviation delta, which is about 16 or 17 delta, which in this case happens to be the 870 strike call. Those are selling for next week's chain for $4.50. $4.50. $4.50 if you bought one. or $450 if you sold one of these against 100 of your Tesla shares, let's say, right? Or if you sold this naked, don't recommend ever selling premium naked unless it's cash covered. Don't believe in margin myself. But if you go down to the one standard deviation, so about 16, 17 delta on the put side, and we check those out, it's the 745 out the money puts. Those are selling for 1050. Let's just say $10. So $10 versus not even 5. So there's a 2-to-1 premium ratio on the put side. And so you're always going to expect a little bit of a premium baked in on the put side. So if you have premium baked in on the put side, I think there's a little bit, that's to be expected, because during earnings call, if you're really long shares, you're going to generally be expected to sell to buy puts, right? If you have a lot of shares and you want to protect yourself on the downside, should there be something that comes up, I think that's generally what's going to happen in the market is you're going to have more put premium coming in. 2-to-1 is quite the large effect. So that kind of almost signals to us that that either Tesla is extended, and if you look at the daily, I guess you could definitely perhaps make that argument that Tesla is extended at least in short term action. If I pull up, let me try to pull up the Bollinger Band just so we can see. Tesla's been riding the upper Bollinger Band for the last week and a half, really. So statistics would tell us that there would be some sort of mean reversion to happen, and the mean of the Bollinger Band is sitting at 795 at the moment. That's not to say Tesla gets there. That's just to say where the mean is when you talk about Bollinger Band studies, right? So the good news here is we don't have a massive amount of resistance sitting past 800 to 900. I said that there's a sneaky pivot maybe around 840, 845. I'm not sure how hardcore this resistance will be. But the thing is, we don't have volume, and I see some comments coming in about volume. I don't have volume, or we don't have volume today coming into the market. It's about 10 million shares, so really not a lot. Let's check this out on the 1 minute. You guys like my old camera angle? Okay, Vern's saying old camera angle. Herman as well. Can't see your face. You might as well turn your camera. Ooh, interesting. Just playing around with the camera angle still a little bit. The only problem I had with the original camera angle, I could definitely change it back. I don't mind. Was that all these lights were just like when I was looking at the camera, it was just like staring at me. But I'm a man of the people. Speaking of being a man of the people, gotta have a slice of my orange. I hope everyone's having a piece of citrus right now. Forget about it. It's too good. trying to have I had a cold sore. Andy says Jason DeBolt thinks Tesla will be at $4,000 a share by 2025. So I did actually prepare for a back of the napkin valuation a little bit on this. Let me check it out. Okay. Here we are. So I did some very basic, again, I call it back of the napkin math on Tesla, and I think it's just something to look at. So you have to put your thesis into this. You have to do your own modeling, right? But this is why. I see a Clay Nation fan. I'm a holder of Clay Nation. I do like them. Okay, so you have to do your own thesis, right? But let's say 2025, you can put in your own bull or bear numbers to spit out something in terms of a calculator, right? And let me just delete this for now, okay? So if you think Tesla will sell 5 million vehicles by 2025, at an average selling price of $40,000 per vehicle, right? And I think it's actually probably going to be higher than this. Bears would argue, would say otherwise. 5 million vehicles at $40K per vehicle at a 22% gross margin ex ZEV credits, okay? At a 40 PE and an 8% discount rate. Our NPV on this, our 2025 market cap projection is about $1.7, $1.8 trillion. If we did an NPV on this, and we discounted it at 8%, and then we took all the cash flows up until 2025, we'd get a market cap discounted to today at 8% of 1.2 trillion. That's in and around, I'd have to do some more math on this, but it's in and around $1,200 a share, right? Math with Tesla for the market cap to share prices is generally easy, right? So $1,200 per share's net present value based on these numbers on the auto business. Elon has come out and said, hey, auto is going to be just as big as energy. Now, if you believe that to be true, if you think that's going to be the case, maybe not by 2025, but maybe by 2030, you can double this effectively. So you have to run your own calculation on this. And all being said, let's say if Tesla can sell, and let me know in the comments, by 2030, what's your projection? What's your projection on what's your projection on vehicles delivered by Tesla by 2030? And we can run some numbers together. Based on 2030. And margin should be higher, or ASP could be higher. Sam says 200K by 2030. I'm talking vehicles delivered. Sorry. So how many vehicles do you think Tesla could? So Amit says 15 million vehicles in 2030. 16. So okay, so let's put in 15, right? And let's just delete this. Let's do 15 million vehicles. Right, 50 million vehicles by 2030. Let's just do a quick NPV here. Let's see. So in 2030, the market cap of the auto business will be how many cars Tesla sells, multiplied by the average price of them selling that car, multiplied that by their gross margin, which you can argue can be higher, multiplied by their price to earnings ratio. There we go. And let me just make this a little bit bigger. So that gets you to a market cap, obviously, a 5.3 trillion, right? Is that right? Hold on one sec. Instead of doing B6, I'm just going to do, so make sure I'm right here. So 5.3 trillion. If we NPV that, let me just NPV this from E8 all the way to E13. If you believe that to be the case, then Tesla's auto business is worth around 2.5 trillion today at net present value with these numbers. You guys are saying 20 million. Why is PE on gross profit? Generally speaking, and you can do it on operating expenses or operating income after expenses are out. Generally speaking, if you think Tesla is still growing, and you can adjust the PE based on this, right? But maybe by 2030, Tesla doesn't have PE of 40. Maybe they're Apple by then, right? If you look at Apple has a pretty decent PE now because the market really doesn't price in much growth to their gross profit at this point, right? I think they do about close to 100 bill per year in gross profit, right? And they're not generally growing that as much as, let's say, even revenues can be. So you could do your own math, and with that, you get to 1 point. And if I change the P to 30, that's a $1.8 trillion net present value for Tesla. You have to do your own math on this. You have to do your own margin. You guys are saying margin is low, margin will be higher. Absolutely. I think what's important here is not necessarily what the numbers are. I know it sounds counterintuitive. It's not important what the numbers are, but it's important to have your own model. And then from there, you can throw your own biases in there. So if margin you guys are saying is low, and you guys think gross margin will be 30, changing that with 15 million vehicles delivered at 40,000, and maybe ASP is a little bit high by 2030. Maybe the average selling price of a vehicle is only 37,000 or 35,000, let's say. Right? So a lot of assumptions you're making here. Then at that net present value, 50 million cars in 2030, $35,000 each. 30% gross margin, 30 PE, right? Discount rate could be a little bit low, right? Let's say if I changed it up to 10, you still get to up to a $1.8 trillion market cap, right? Leo saying this model doesn't include licensing business. It doesn't include licensing. It doesn't include robo-taxis if you want to go there. It doesn't consider energy. I'm saying it's just auto, right? Just their auto business. Now, the assumptions here are Tesla can make and sell 15 million vehicles by then, and you have to do your own judgment if you think that's the case. It's 35,000 per, so that's with Tesla's Model Q coming out. It's going to lower ASP. The Tesla can maintain and sustain high gross margin, which I think they will. 4680s. You talk about a single casting. You talk about just the way that they do everything from a fundamental level. The PE at 30, I think this is still conservative by 2030. We'll see. And discount rate at 10%, right? The cost of a dollar today is not worth what a dollar costs tomorrow. Or value of a dollar today is not the same as the value of the dollar tomorrow, right? So, yeah, you guys say talks to Andy says I think PE is still low. PE should be at least 50. Well, if in that case, let's throw that in, you get to net present value of Tesla of $3 trillion today. So do your own math on this, right? Do your own modeling. I know there's a million videos out there, and by the way, I think I'm going to be releasing Tesla auto valuation in less than 10 minutes as a video coming out soon enough. I'm doing like some slides on it. Just so you know, it's a quick and dirty way that you can pass that video along to anyone that doesn't get how to value Tesla the way that we look at valuing Tesla. But do your own modeling, do your own research, figure out, okay, what do I believe in? What do I like? You know, if you were an ultra bull, you can come in and throw any sort of numbers around and see, okay, what is the general upside here? What's the general downside here? Just so you can, you know, because I think at the end of the day, you have to convince yourself, you have to do your own DD. And the best investments don't come when you listen to someone else. The best investments come in your life when you go through the thesis yourself and you feel fully convicted. In my humble opinion. Michael says, when you do that video, explain why legacy doesn't get the same value. Great point. Great point. And generally, I'll just answer that by saying, because our thesis is that legacy will not be able to survive in the EV business, and we think the EV car industry is the only car industry that's going to survive in the next 10 to 15, 20 years. So, yes, but that's a great point. I should probably add that in at some point. Good point. Okay, let's pull up Webull again. 817.52 on the Tesla stock price. I don't want to say it's quieter, but volume is a little bit lighter today. That being said, let's see how the market's doing. Ford is down 50 basis points. GM's down 20. Honda's up a little bit, almost 1%. Lucid's up 6% on the day, so really strong action from Lucid. And actually, it's rallied quite a bit here in the last couple hours. NIO's up 22 basis points. Nikola's down a little bit. Toyota's flattish. And then Tesla, actually XPEV's down 1% as well. And then Tesla's almost up 1% again. Gave up some of the gains from earlier. Tesla looks like it's just rehashing and coming back down to the volume weighted average price. So something to look at there. Marcus says share price will be 3,000 in 2030 with Yashu's model, and that's without Robo-taxi, energy, HVAC, Tesla bot. Here's what I find interesting. On more than that, but first of all, one thing I will say is when you guys are looking at share price targets by anyone out there, remember, are they talking about share price targets in that year or discounted back to today? Right? What's the net present value of that is what you need to look at, and then you need to discount that. Don't forget to discount whatever target you look at, whatever target you come out with. Personally speaking, so by the way, what's Kathy Wood's target on price parity? Is it next year that she thinks the cost of an EV will be the same as a Toyota Camry? Is it 2022 or is it 2023? Someone tell me, I forget. Futurist also says also legacy margins are less than half of Tesla. Exactly. Different business model as well. That's the problem with legacies. They have a different business model. If you look at the debt, a lot of that has to do with cars sitting on the lot, loaned out, loans for cars. It's just a different business model. Tesla's a lot more, shall I say, cleaner and more of a easier to model, just without going into the intricacies of things. As a general layman, idiot person like me. But at the end of the day, it's my personal belief, right? Waka says Tesla is like AOL and Lucid's on Google back in the day entering the game. Waka, I know you're saying that tongue in cheek. That's hilarious. I know this because Waka is a known Tesla bull. Unless that's changed, you can let me know. Andy says Fremont capacity is at 900K. Shanghai is at 1 mil. Texas and Berlin 2 million each. Total 5.9 million capacity without building additional factories. So Thank you, Andy. And yes, so actually, thanks for giving me those numbers. I was trying to fact check some of those, and 2025, all those factories should be at full ramp, right? So Kevin says, why use a 2020? Why use a 22% gross margin? Tesla's near at 28, and their goal is above 30. They're like at 30 plus for Q3. I am accounting for gross margin X zero emission vehicle credits. I believe last quarter they hit 21.8 to my calculation. I subtracted out ZEV credits of, I think it was like close to 500 mil from last quarter's earnings, and I just looked at the gross margin. I think it was 21.8. Very conservative. Not like my goal is, and this is like I'm generally an optimist. The problem is I have this tendency, and let me know if you guys have the same. And we just broke below the volume weighted average price. Not good. Let's try to see if we can hold it here. The problem I have is, and let me know if you guys have this problem as well. I'm trying to work on this to be quite candid. Is I have this tendency to always look at what's the worst case scenario. And I do this generally a lot of my life with different scenarios that play out or business deals and stuff. And what's the worst case scenario? And it's not healthy. That being said, I look at the gross margin number. I'm like, okay, if Tesla's already doing this right now, I baked in zero additional margin off of this. And I just took it their last quarter without single castings, without new 4680 battery cell. And I just took that. Like, how would it be? Also, remember, Elon has said whatever additional margin they're going to get, they're going to put into lowering the cost of the vehicle. Elon has said their goal isn't to maximize margin. Their goal is to lower average selling price, right? That's what they want to do. So, um, Sachin said, I think that's a good attitude. It's okay at a business level, and I think business has kind of trained me to just look at the downside a lot more than I like to do. But if one thing I'm learning in the last 12 to 18 months is that you have to look at the upside. I'm talking to myself here. I'm not trying to give you advice, but yes, you got to try to look at the upside just as much as the downside. Um, I have that problem, just quite honestly, is like I always like to look at the insurance side. Like, what is the bottom dollar that we can look at? Timothy says you can't take out ZEV credits out in 2030. They won't exist. Yeah, so I'm taking them out I'm taking them out from the last earnings. I'm already taking them out and then looking at what their gross margin is and then pretending as if there is no additional benefit post that. Yeah, Dan Miller is saying looking at worst case scenarios means that you're pleasantly surprised when things go well. Yeah. And you know what? Being a Canucks fan, that's kind of what it's trained me to do, is to expect the worst, hope for the best. I'm not sure how great that is. So, anyways, things to look at, things to be excited for. By the way, we did get this video. I haven't yet seen it. I saved it for the stream. Let me know if you guys have seen this video, okay? It's the Waymo cars taking over quiet San Fran dead end street. I want to watch this on live here with you. Let me know if you guys have seen it already. But let me just zoom a little bit in if we can. Hold on 1 second. Okay, let's play it.
A normally quiet neighborhood in San Francisco is now buzzing about a sudden explosion of traffic.
Yeah, neighbors say that a dead-end street, has suddenly become crowded with Waymo vehicles.
They asked us to look into it, and Wilson Walker joins us live from the Richmond district. Wilson, what'd you find?
Well, Liz, here at 15th and Lake, this is hardly, Union Square or the ballpark, Fisherman's Wharf. This is not a busy intersection by city standards by any measure, but they are seeing
So many visitors, but why don't they convert?
Well, what if you had a tool?
A normally quiet neighborhood in San
It's hardly, Union Square or the ballpark, Fisherman's Wharf. This is not a busy intersection by city standards by any measure, but they are seeing a lot of one kind of traffic here. It is kind of funny when you watch.
YouTube's like, don't watch this. Do not watch this.
Watch it happen, and the neighbors are certainly noticing.
I
and I noticed it while I was sleeping. I awoke to a strange hum that I thought there was a spacecraft outside my bedroom window.
The visitors Jennifer King is talking about don't just come at night. They come all day right to the end of 15th Avenue where there's nothing else to do but make some kind of a multi-point turn and head out the way they came in. Now, not long after that car is gone, there will be another which will make the same turn and leave before another car shows up and does the exact same thing. And while there are some pauses, it never really stops.
There are some days where it can be up to 50. I mean, it's literally every 5 minutes, and you know, we're all working from home, and so this is what we hear. Yeah, this is what we hear.
At several points today, they showed up on top of each other. These cars packed with technology, stopping in a queue as if completely baffled by a dead end.
Don't really have a preference either way, but it is a little bit odd that they're over here so much.
And especially across a slow street into a one block street. It's a little bit peculiar.
Have you ever seen them pick anyone up or drop anyone off?
No. They're just, I think, doing their testing.
So it's definitely they're exploring something on this little piece of land on 15th.
The frequency of the visits is sparking conversation in the neighborhood, but for now, neighbors can only guess as to what exactly is causing this.
We have talked to the drivers who don't have much to say other than I think it's just programmed and they're just doing their job.
All right. Now, a little speculation here from myself and the neighbors here who are all talking about this.
Do you guys hear the screaming in the back right there? Even someone's like, "Oh my God, Jesus!" Like just very quietly listen to the screaming here.
A little speculation here from myself and the neighbors here who are all talking about this. Everybody's talking about it. You heard about the slow street,
Poor girls,
which is
like
Lake
screaming
here,
back
and you got
there.
the dead end on 15th here. And then, you know,
Get the Waymos out.
The neighborhood, what effectively might have been made is some sort of an eddy if you happen to be an autonomous vehicle who's trying to learn the streets of San Francisco and you get over here and there's nowhere to go, and it seems like these cars are struggling to figure that out. Now, we did call Waymo, of course, to ask them about this. They said they would look into it, and they are glad that the neighbors have brought this to their attention. They're going to look into it and see what they can do. We're live here in San Francisco. Wilson Walker, KPIX5.
What I was saying was even YouTube's like, don't play this video. And I was like, damn, what the hell? I have premium, but I realized I'm logged into my other account, which doesn't have premium, which I wish we could share them. Okay, well, interesting. For all the talk of, and Elon, you guys have told me that Elon replied to this. I think he did. Where's my notification about this? Let me just go to Elon's Twitter. I think he just replied pretty casually with an LOL. Just with an LOL on it right there. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Those cars you guys are saying look pretty ugly. Yeah, they're really bedazzled out, those cars. It's yeah. You know, it is what it is. I wonder what the safety score on I wonder if Tesla ran a safety score for one of these cars, what would it be? What would it be? I wonder. It looks very expensive, right? It looks very expensive. Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like, you know, these cars could technically work, but how do you bring them to scale then, right? Like, how do you scale these? And self-admittedly, like, I'm not a huge Robo-taxi expert. I don't dive into technology much. I just watch Dave Lee, James Duma, all these other people on it. So, you know, my knowledge is pretty much through there. But, you know, scaling something like this, that's the problem, right? If the hypothesis is, if Tesla solves full self-driving, all they would have to do is an over-the-air update, and then everyone's Tesla becomes a robo-taxi. Now, most bears have a problem with premise number one, that Tesla will solve full self-driving. That's the crux of their argument, is that not possible. But if you grant that premise, unlocking all these robo-taxis, and you talk about Elon at AI Day, right? He goes, by next year there'll be a million robo-taxis on the road. I think he was referring to there's a million Tesla vehicles on the road that have the potential to be robo-taxis, right? Yeah. Has anyone, by the way, in the comments, let me know, like ever taken one of these Waymo vehicles or driverless car vehicle taxis in Arizona or SF or wherever they are in the world. I'm curious, and let me know what your comments are on that. Do we get news? Yeah, we also did get this news, by the way, from Sawyer saying Barclays analyst Brian Johnson raised the price target on Tesla to 300 from 230 while maintaining an underweight rating. Gary Black had actually, I want to say, probably one of his funniest tweets that I've seen in history. Let me try to find it right here. Hopefully you guys know which one I'm talking about. Okay, about that underweight upgrade, right, to $300 a share. Gary Black goes, salesperson says, "What do you want me to do with this price target change?" Manager, call all your clients and tell them we still don't like Tesla, but now we think it's all worth over 300 now instead of 230. Salesperson says, "Can't I just tell them our analyst is an idiot?" Manager, they already know. Savage. Gary Black coming in with the absolute fire tweet today. And I don't know. Despite our skepticism, they say, around Tesla's sky-high market cap of $800 billion, we are constructive on the stock going, are you really? Okay. We're constructive on the stock going into third quarter earnings per share release due to a combination of delivery beat, driving operating leverage, and strong pricing. In short, Tesla was able to continue a healthy pace of production. And then they go about all this good stuff. So, I don't know. Thanks. Okay. Kevin, thank you so much for giving me these updated numbers. I'm going to have to run the math again on that. I appreciate that. Thank you, Kevin. I'm happy to be wrong. Gary Black's EV market share tweet was pretty great. Gives long-term confidence. Let's check it out. Are you talking about the one in China, or was there one today? Gary Black says Tesla bears who argue Tesla doesn't trade on fundamentals have no clue. One, EV adoption. I'm guessing it's this one. EV adoption soaring globally. Tesla demand is unprecedented. Most models 6 months wait, which is actually 8 months here locally in Canada now. Tesla raised US prices by an average of over 8% year to date. Tesla deliveries and earnings per share will go up between 5 and 6 times between 2021 and 2025, assuming a 55% CAGR at 2022 PE of 80 times. So wait lists are bad, folks. Wait lists are bad. I'll show you here locally. If I go to the Tesla site and I like to, let's say if I want to order a Model 3, okay. Actually, hold on, let me zoom out one sec. So check this out. Oh man, hold on. I'm gonna have to change my my screen size here. Okay, a Model 3 here locally, if you were to order one in Canada right now, you'd get delivered this standard range plus Model 3 in April of next year. I don't care what you say, this is not good. This lowers the chances of people ordering. I know a lot of you guys are going to say, well, if you know that the timeline is going to keep going up, you might as well put in your order now. I think there's a kernel of truth to that, but I'm speaking from experience. When we were looking at which EV to buy back in the day, you know, we're calling dealerships to get test drives. We wanted to, for example, the Hyundai Kona was one that we were like, okay, we should probably test drive this. It's decent. And we put in a phone call and they said, yeah, even if you order it today, the chance of it coming any sooner than 6 months out is very low. And that immediately just didn't even want us to test drive the car. Now, Teslas are their own breed for sure. I think a good majority of people that order Teslas, I go out on a limb and say the majority of people that order Tesla probably even haven't driven one, or at least let's say between 20 and 50% of people haven't even driven a Tesla before they order one. They just go online, they order it. I've seen a lot of YouTube videos about people saying that they've never driven one, but they just go out and they buy it. But I want to see the delivery timelines come back down. In the States, it's even more wonky, right? If I go to the US site, and this is long range again. So yeah, it's April 2022 as well for the Model 3 Standard Range Plus. I think the Model Y is even probably longer than that at this point. Let's see. It doesn't give me a delivery date. Does someone know in the chat? Let me know. Someone know in the chat what the delivery date? Oh, because I'm on the Canadian site. Or a Model Y is in the States. April as well. Okay. Yeah, keep in mind, Dan says everything is short supply. Everything's a short supply for sure. That's 100% a part of it. Um, but if you order something, it's October. It's middle of October, right? School's starting now for a lot of students, and April's when it's going to end. Like we're talking a whole school year. James is a fellow Juju Gang member. The arrow wheels make the wait even longer. I ordered mine without even driving one as well. There you go. Absolutely. I know a lot of people like that. Vern says there isn't a shortage of EVs available. If OEM EVs were any good, then Tesla wouldn't have such a long wait list. Yeah, I think you talk about compliance cars, you talk about a lot of legacy autos. I'm not entirely sure how fond they are about selling EVs. And go watch Now You Know's channel on this. They have made a video and they've said that all these legacy auto companies, they don't sell EVs at a net profit. It costs them money. It's a loss leader. So why would you want to prioritize selling those cars, right? Okay, 817.90 on Tesla sitting right now. Actually, pretty good, pretty decent consolidation here, all being equal, right? Pulling up the hourly here in the last couple of days. We've been rallying the last couple of days, consolidating, then rallying, and then consolidating pre-market. Like this is kind of what's been happening with Tesla. The good news is on the hourly, we have consolidated back to the 9 EMA, which is sitting at 817. So happy with that. Again, if you get too far extended past the 9 EMA, you're always going to, and there's a high likelihood in my experience that you come back and retrace at the 9 pretty soon. But, at the same time, we don't have much resistance, right? We don't have much resistance coming up in Tesla. It looks like we're rallying a little bit here, 818.30 for all the audio listeners. So, we'll see. It was 818 most of the day, says Arsang. Yeah. Michael says, I struggled with the test drive, wasn't used to regen braking, did a performance model. It was fast up and fast down, still ordered a Model Y long range. Well, congrats. The whole one pedal driving is it definitely takes some getting used to, but once you're a one pedal driver on any electric vehicle, you just have a hard time going back. Honestly, it sounds so pretentious, right? Oh, I'm only driving with one pedal, blah blah blah. I get it. You sound like an idiot, but I'm telling you, you got to experience it. If you haven't, you just hit the accelerator. As soon as you let off, you brake pretty fast, and you get kind of good at letting go of the accelerator and braking just in time for a stoplight or something. And it doesn't wear down your brakes just as much. There's a lot of benefits to it, and regen braking and all that energy goes back into the battery. Johnny's saying, hey, welcome, Johnny. Here in Portugal, we have made in China model cars and expect delivery in November. Well, I can't wait, Johnny, until Europe starts getting blasted with these Berlin cars. Can't wait. Because the price of a car should go down for you as well, right? Verinsa, I've ordered an X Plaid, which is a 2-year wait due to the right-hand drive. Wow. Yeah, so I have did you guys ever watch that video on my channel, that interview I did with Anonymon? I'm going to have him back on. He wants to come back on once he gets delivery of the X Plaid that he has. And he told me by the end of the year is kind of the projection, but we'll see kind of how it goes. Okay, wow. Okay, we're busting up here past the resistance, 818.80 on Tesla. Okay, if you've got 15 minutes, 818.50 is the current stock price. Throw in the chat your closing price prediction on Tesla. 15 minutes. I'll be closing entries in the next couple of minutes, just so no one gets an unfair advantage. Alex saying Anonymon is our boy. Sean saying one pedal driving is so easy. Yes, absolutely. 100%. It's a game changer, to be honest. Paul says I got used to it in about 5 minutes. Yeah, it's for it depends how long you've been driving and how adaptable you are, but for sure it can take some time. Okay, we've got some guesses coming in. 828, 19, 19, 1769. Nice. 15. Marco saying 817. Okay, so you guys are all pretty much in the same-ish range. Now, albeit, yes, I asked you guys this question, a lot sooner than I did yesterday on the stream. But yesterday, David won this guess, and also FJE did on YouTube. So we'll see. You got a lot of good guesses coming in. This is not Price is Right. This is Price is Right rules. Just don't say $1. Because we have an 811. So, okay, 8, 18, 20 here. There we go. What catalyst do we have coming? Well, honestly, with catalyst, we have earnings next week. And that's really all that there is to look forward to. And maybe that has partly to do why call premium is so low for next week. But earnings is a pretty decent catalyst. 850 by earnings, question mark, says Vamsi. 850, I could see a world where that's possible. The options pricing premium is not suggesting that we're going to continue to rip up like we have been. But hey, nothing's 100%, right? I'll tell you what, if we hit 850 by earnings next Wednesday, I'll be super stoked. All-time highs, folks, we're only $80 away from all-time highs. $80 away from all-time highs. Okay, Trey has guessed 300, so we've officially lost it. So if anyone guesses Price is Right rules, I guess Trey wins, unless someone guesses 301 or something. Will we get the sell the news event again on earnings? Well, here's the thing. Implied volatility on Tesla has come down. Actually pretty decently. Implied volatility right now is sitting at 52 week is sitting at 6. 6 out of 100 is our implied volatility rank on Tesla. So it's very low in terms of relative volume speaking, especially like you would never guess looking at Tesla's implied volatility rank at the moment that earnings is next Wednesday. And generally that's a product of if a stock continues to show strength on the upside, you're going to have less and less option buying, disproportionate to if a stock's crashing 4 or 5% every single day, implied volatility is going to shoot through the roof because everyone's going to go out and go buy insurance. But when a stock's doing well, people generally don't touch their position, don't worry about it too much. So I actually got a tweet today from not financial advice saying the last time Tesla closed at what is it, 816 or something, it popped up to 880 within the same week or something. And I'm gonna go verify if that's true. Let me just go back to all-time highs. Yeah, this price trading. You guys remember this? What, January 6th or January 7th? We closed at, holy crap, January 7th, we closed at 755. The next morning, or the next day, pardon me, we closed at 816. A $65 move in a day. And then we closed at 816 on the 7th of January. And the next day we closed at 880. It was nuts. I remember I was live streaming every single day back then because like I promised, I said, if Tesla ever made an all-time high, I'd drop everything and go live. And I was making like 14, I did like 11 live streams in a row, I think. 11 days in a row. It was getting nutty, but it was a great time. Who remembers those? The good old days, says Alex. So, yeah, I see a lot of familiar faces from those times. Johnny as well. If you're new here and you like Tesla, hit subscribe, join the family. You guys are right. I'm not even eating the oranges. Those are definitely the good old days, but tell you what, to be $80 away from all-time highs again. Alonzo says, I thought you said you were going to dance if it happened. No, I would definitely not subject myself to that. It'd have to be a nutty day. I'm not even sure what kind of money would motivate me to start dancing on the live stream. I don't think it's possible. Okay, I'm eating juju. And this candle happens. So maybe I should drop the juju. But some days you just gotta power through. You just gotta power through it, you know? Persistence defeats everything else. You guys said you guys would dance at $1,000 a share. Listen, I think we're gonna get to $1,000 a share eventually. So I'm not signing up for that because I know it's probably going to happen soon enough, and I'm not going to dance. But if you guys were to say, okay, by next week, if we hit something crazy, fine, I'll sign up for that. But the odds really have to be my favor, folks. What do you think Apple will announce next week? Yeah, Apple. I think it's their MacBook party, right? They're gonna announce their new chips and all that sort of stuff. So we'll see. Mud says, can you give us a quick introduction to these candle charts in real time? Very basic. Every green candle is a candle in that time frame that the stock has started lower or closed higher on, I should say. Every red is where it started high and closed lower, and the wicks are the high and low of that time. So in this case, it's a 1 minute candle, and each one of these candles represent 1 minute, and the wicks are the high and low of that. Very, very basic. Just Google candlestick stocks. You should find them. But candlesticks are great because they allow us to get context into the high. Like, for example, this green candle right here, huge wick, right? The one that I'm on, the one that I'm on the one after it, okay? I'll put my mouse on the one after it. I can stick with my mouse somewhere. The one before it, we can see the wicks are really low. So we can see that Tesla did drop in that minute, but buyers came up and really picked up all those shares. So it gives us context. Okay, so hey, we're rallying back up on this. Yeah, mostly leaps, not really shares. Although it's changed. This year, if you made the decision really to drop a lot of leaps after that big run up, you were very smart and you moved into equity. Kind of the going consensus is now that, hey, like IV's come down a little bit, although Tesla's gone up. Is it time to go back into leaps? And that's really the question. I think what you have to prioritize really with that is mental capacity as well. If you buy stuff 2 or 3 years out, different story with leaps. But if you go like, for example, to January or something, you're gonna have to manage that soon enough, right? You're gonna have to manage that soon enough. That's the problem. If Tesla goes down 10%, you're like, okay, I'll pick up some leaps. You go look at the pricing of the leaps, and because Tesla's fallen so far so fast, like it did in February, March, the price of those leaps are inflated with premium, even out the money on the call side. They're just inflated, right? They're inflated. That's the problem. Jay says, Yash, what software do you use for streaming on YouTube? This is Webull. We are sponsored. This channel is not sponsored. This channel is affiliated with Webull. I get a commission if you sign up with an account, and you get 2 free stocks. If you want to check it out, link is in the description. Yeah, you could do spreads as well. If you don't know what spreads are if you come out and you buy, let's say December of this year, and you come out and you buy let's say the 900 strike call for $2,000, and then you sell the 1,000 strike call for $700. It only costs you $1,300. Then at that point, your max profit is calculated by the difference in strikes. So $100, so about 10 grand minus whatever you paid for it, right? So you spreads it lowers the cost basis required for sure. Yeah. Griffin says spread god right here. Hey, spreads are good. What streaming software do I use? I use Streamlabs OBS. Jason says, do you find Interactive Brokers to be a pain in the ass compared to Webull and Robinhood? I use Webull because I find when I'm streaming it to be a lot easier on my computer, it to be a lot faster. I can click around a lot easier. When I'm buying or selling something on the account, Interactive Brokers is what I use. It's my platform. Actually, I think I have an affiliate link, but it's not in the description. If you want it, just message me. But there's Interactive Brokers software doesn't work well with my streaming stuff, to be honest. Just slows everything down. I don't want to slow stream. Like right now, Tesla's sitting at 817.83. Even if I'm like 5 or 10 seconds behind, that kind of ruins the production quality of these streams. Like I like to be as close to lowest latency as possible. That's the only reason why I don't use it, to be honest. If you go back to the earlier portions of these channels, I would only really stream with Interactive Brokers and Trader Workstation. But yeah. Okay, 817.30 on the stock price. It looks like we're probably going to close that volume weighted average price again. I think someone did guess this almost exactly. We'll find out in 4 minutes how true this will be. Yes, Thinkorswim as well, Griffin. Yeah, so Thinkorswim is not bad. I use Thinkorswim really as an opportunity to pull up CNBC like this because you get free CNBC streaming on it with your software. So I use it for that. But and I used to use it as well, but you know, Webull approached. They've been since the beginning of the channel. They've wanted for me to put a affiliate link up. I said no for the first couple of months. Then I actually used the software is really decent, so I was like, screw it, let's do it. Because Thinkorswim doesn't do any sort of affiliate links. So and margin rates are lower as well. And on Tractor Brokers, you guys are saying, yeah, that's true as well. I don't generally use margin, although a little bit, mostly for shares, never really for options. And it's really only money that I have, but let's say I haven't transferred into account or that, you know, I don't worry too much about, let's say. But here's also the thing. I don't use Thinkorswim in Canada because you guys don't know this, but as Canadians, we have to pay $10 per trade on both ends as commission. You guys don't have that anymore. So, okay, 817.14. Banks are beating estimates apparently on Wall Street. So we're seeing that happen today. If you pull up the watch list, Bitcoin's at almost 58 grand. Crazy. Awesome. Love to see it. Doge is still at 24 cents. I don't know how. 3.8K for Ethereum. What else? Google's up to $2,800, over $2,800 again. Lucid again, folks. Lucid's up over 6%. Crazy. Again, if Lucid starts delivering cars and you guys are making jokes, about Lucid delivering 7 cars. I guess you're right. If Lucid comes out and they deliver 7 cars, I you know, not get that excited over it. But you know, if they start doing, let's say, a couple hundred, and like average people that have put in their orders are getting it, not just influencers and stuff. You know, I might look back into Lucid again. You guys are saying I need to watch Warren Redlick's video on it. I haven't seen it about Lucid, at least the recent one. I know he's not a fan, to put it lightly. Let's just leave it at that. Nasdaq's up almost 2%, folks. Nasdaq's up almost 2%. S&P 500's up 1.7%, 1.6%, pardon me. So Tesla, yes, Tesla's underperformed on the day versus macro, but a really good, just if you want to call it consolidation, you can maybe, but we're still green. We're almost 1% green for the day. I'm happy with this, generally speaking, especially with the run up that we had in the last couple of days, to be honest. And remember, we have tomorrow's Friday. Generally speaking, Tesla is not loving Fridays as of late, so we'll see what happens tomorrow. Monday, generally, Tesla has been loving Mondays as of late, so we'll see. Yeah, Tommy says they were supposed to deliver 500 this year. Yeah, it's not a lot, but yeah. Are you guys worried that Tesla's rallying with low volume compared to January? No, because remember, January is a different beast. January index funds hadn't bought in. There was way less diamond hands in Tesla, way less pension funds, ETFs that aren't necessarily going to dump their positions in Tesla that still had to acquire Tesla. You know, there we go. The market's closed 8:18:01. Okay, I'm gonna have to go back 8:18:01. 8:18:32 is the price, and I'm gonna go back 8:18:32. Okay, Victor guessed 8:18:23. That's pretty close. So did Mirage. There we go. 8:18:68. The booster is pretty close, but you're over. So Price is Right rules. You're out of here. Who else got pretty close here? A lot of people got pretty close. Those are the only people I see in the 8. Okay, Alonzo got 8:18:88. Again, Price is Right rules. You're out of here. Very good guess though. You came close again. You guys came close. A lot of folks came close. Nicely done. So those are our 2 winners, let's just say, for the day. Both guessed in the 8:18 range. So we'll see. Tommy says, I guessed 8:18:80. Yes, you were over. hey, all in all, folks, let's just say good day, right? Good day, up 1%. Yes, I know we could have been up a couple percent if we followed macro, but this is Tesla. Remember, Tesla, you know, it's his own monster. Tesla doesn't really care about macro some days, doesn't care about news some days. It can do what it wants, when it wants. And today, up 1%. I'm happy with it. Let's not forget what? Today's the 14th of October. Literally on Monday, right? Tesla opened at 787. So 787 to 818, right? Context is important. I think we're up $30, let's say, up on that. So $30 pre-split multiplied by 5, $150 pre-split. Pretty happy. Building day, exactly. Anthony says 860 by earnings. I'd be happy to that. I'd be happy with that. Marcus is happy to be wrong. Yes, your guess was a little bit bearish. FJE says I got 818.32. I got it right. Did you really again? I didn't see it. Yeah, let's go back. All right, I'll just give it to you because my chat doesn't load properly. Got some smart guessers in the chat. No, FJE, you guessed 817.49. I see it here. Unless you had a couple of guesses or something. Yes, will we retest 800? Maybe, perhaps. I do think 800 is probably going to have really good demand at this point. Anything can happen macro-wise, so let's keep an eye on that. This is what CNBC is saying.
Welcome distraction to get back to company-specific stuff. And because the market was weak going into it, unlike the past 3 quarters when we went into earnings season at a record high in the S&P, you've had a little bit of discounts built into some of the areas. Maybe there won't be as strong a sell the news response. So I'd say that the overall action is encouraging, but you have to understand that sometimes this is exactly when you might have people come in and say sell the rally, just like we did last Thursday when you had a similar rally.
Turns out today was the best day since March 5th for the S&P 500, best day since May for the NASDAQ. Tiffany, what about those concerns now that we're in earnings season around supply chain and inflation?
Yeah, we get it. Okay, so you guys heard it there. S&P 500 had their best day since March. Dow Jones best day since July. I hate the Dow, to be honest. You guys know that. I don't like the Dow. It's a dare I say it's a stupid metric to look at. Whatever. You don't have to love. You don't have to agree with me. FJE says it was a joke. Okay, gotcha. But at the end of the day, great day for the markets. You know what's funny? I had an SPX Lotto position on today. Of course, I sold it way too early. Yesterday it was trading at 50 cents. Today it closed at $5. Your boy sold it at $2.25. Made a very low profit on that because I was bag holding for so long that when it came back to break even, I was like, oh, great. So I made a little bit of money on that. Not much, to be honest. Man, it closed at $5 essentially today. It went as high as I think $5 or $6. It was a 4,445 strike SPX that expired today. So it is what it is. At the end of the day, you win some, you lose some, you lose a lot in the markets. If you trade options, you probably know that already. But tongue in cheek. Okay, great day, folks. Thanks for joining me on the live stream. Had an awesome time. We're going to be going live for Power Hour tomorrow, but it'll be with Bradford. And Bradford is going to, again, he's options market maker who's going to be addressing some of our options myths, Max Payne, all the sort of questions around that. Join us for the live around that, 12 p.m. Pacific, again, on the channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you like Tesla, hit like, subscribe, join the family. Wu Wei, thank you for joining as a YouTube member there. If you want to get Discord access, you can either join on the 2nd or 3rd YouTube membership or go on patreon.com/hit that bid. Link is in the description. And you can join on any level there. $5 a month gets you into Discord. Good juju only in there. And we have a good time. And yes, and whenever I go live and stuff, I always alert Discord first. So that's where all the notifications come first. Also Twitter, if you want to follow me there, go for it. All right. Much love. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Take care. And I'll catch you tomorrow for the live stream. Okay. Peace.